Hello everyone, this is a Vissim video today and I would like to talk about setting up different dwell times or parking durations based on the vehicle arrival time. So if let's say you want in the first half of the simulation to use certain parking duration, like let's say for half an hour vehicles to park, and in the second part you want only give 10 minutes parking duration for the same car park, or also if you want to have different in each 5 minute, each 1 minute, or whatever time periods you want to play with the parking duration. But before I go on, I would like to say thank you for everyone who signed up on Patreon and on YouTube as a member. Thank you very much. And also whoever liked, subscribed, and commented on my videos. Thanks a lot. Okay, so first you set up your parking area. You can use the parking lot creator. I have a video about that earlier. Just check that out to get some information on that. And when you use that, Vissim automatically creates a parking routing decision. Before you start setting that up, you always need to make sure that your parking your parking routing decision and the parking itself is included within a static routing decision. So a vehicle should go first through a static routing decision. It should have a route defined, and within that route you should have a parking routing. And so this parking routing and also the parking should be within the static one. So the static can't be like here. It needs to cover the whole area. So once your parking is completed, it needs to go back to the original routing it basically came off, or the parking routing took it over. So once you have this, I just put a vehicle input, but again, probably your network, you already have these. And the trick is if you go to base data, there is a thing called time intervals. When you open that, you need to make sure that here you select the vehicle routes for parking. As you can see, I have already set up some time periods, but if I just delete that, if I just delete these, I can show you how to set them up again. And that's it. So if you want to create, let's say you want to split your model into two, what you can do is you can just go for maybe half an hour. You just need to make sure that if you have multiple rows, then the last one is always higher, so it doesn't allow you to put a number. And then after this, you can go to the next one and the next one. Or in this case, if you just have a 1 hour run, you can just use this because you have one period for the first half and another period for the remaining. If you want to do for like each 10 minutes, then you just go like 600, then 1.2 thousand, then the half an hour mark, then 2.4, then 3000, and then the last one that, or you can even go to 5 minutes or 1 minute or whatever split you want. And then if you double click on your parking routing decision, it will bring up the parking routing decision list. And here you can see the parking routing decision set up and all the routes, all the routes assigned to each parking lot. And for each of them, because when I created the parking lot, I allowed forward and reverse, so you have all of that here. Okay. Now, if you look at the parking duration, as you can see, there is only one you can select. So what you need to do is you go to the wrench icon, attribute selection, and you go down until you find parking duration. And as you can see, there is a little plus because there is a different attribute for each time period that you set up earlier. You just need to be absolutely sure that when you go to the time intervals, you select parking routing time intervals and not any other one, because for each you can define a different time interval. And once you selected this, you can just click on the green arrow and it brings all of them to the right side. And that means they will all appear here, there. And what I said before, so when you go to the time intervals again, you need to be very, not to forget that you need to select the right one, because it's easy to select a different one and then and you can't find it later. Okay, so now if you go back here to the parking routing, as you can see, for each time period, you can select a different time distribution. So let's say for the first 10 minutes, you want to select a 20-second. Then you want to select a 2-second one. I know it's meaningless, but then you can select, let's say, this time distribution. If you go to base data, distributions, time, you can set one up here. So as you can see, I already have some setup. So, and this is like 500 to 600. And if you just want to create more, just click the plus, and here you put the start and the end. So like a given period from 100 seconds to 200. You can also do normal distribution, where you can set an average and you can set a deviation to that. By empirical, I find it much easier. So if you want to use, like, let's say, half an hour parking, you just put 600, and then you can just put, let's say, 650 and then 550. So you have like approximately 10 minutes, just you have 50 second plus minus of that. And you can name it as approx 10 min. And if you go back to your parking routing for that, let's say for this period, you can select that. And for the next period, you can select another one. I think it's quite useful to use this different time intervals. And it also simplifies the model. You can also go very hardcore and do other ways. You can also assign multiple parking routes to the parkings if you have different routes leading to that. But let's not go that far at the moment. So it's very easy to just use this parking routing decision at the entrance you want to go. And from here, you can assign to this parking routing all the parking you have, for example, and then you can set different settings for each interval. And you can also use like a global settings for all the parking, like, where to go, forward, reverse, whatever you want to use. So I hope this was helpful. Again, consider liking, subscribing, commenting. That helps me a lot. And if you want to have even more than that, please consider going to Patreon or just click on the join button in YouTube. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.